Hello, welcome to the Armchair Pundits Manchester United post-match review show. I'm your boy Monts, and I'm here to react about Manchester United versus Wolves at OT. Well, yeah, Christmas is over, clearly. No more celebrating whatsoever. Today's performance looked so lackluster at points and in large points of the game. For me, we looked like the away side and Wolves looked like they were competing to get into Europe. But before I get into all of that, I want you to click that subscribe button. Please share with family, friends and the like. Make sure you comment, because we do read and try to make sure we respond to all comments. In fact, we do respond to all comments. And follow us on all our social tags: Instagram, YouTube, X, and TikTok. It's on you. Thank you. But yeah, OT, absolutely miserable today. We came into the match with bare bones. And when I say bare bones, I'm talking about our bench was filled with academy players. Not that that's such a bad thing, but we didn't really have the depth of quality that you would like in a Manchester United side. We had the likes of Lacey, Obi with his first appearance on the bench this season, Fletcher, the other Fletcher, we had Fredrickson, and then we had names like Malacia and Bayandere on the bench. Now, as you can see, our starting 11 has the responsibility to win the game. And then we ring the changes to get these guys some minutes so that they, become fringe players sooner rather than later. But in typical Man United fashion, when we face a side that's the underdog, that's really struggling for form, can't buy a win or a decent performance, we give them an opportunity to do all of those things and turn them around into something positive. So we didn't start badly per se, but Wolves were definitely at it. Now, if I'm honest, it was reminiscent of their last match, to be quite honest to you. They really looked hungry. You could see that they had an air of an identity of desire, and they were definitely playing for the manager. The loss against Liverpool was firmly in the back of their mind. They were just focusing on getting 3 points at the next, or getting a good performance and 3 points if possible at the next game, albeit at Old Trafford, and another good performance by them. But more to the point, United set up in a back four formation, which was nice to see. So it was more like a 4-2-3-1. We took Mount out. His injury that hindered him and took him off at the half-time in the last match meant that he didn't start today. So we had Zirkzee in his place. And it turned out that having Zirkzee in his place was a good decision, but we'll get onto that. And we had just behind Šeško with Dorgu on the left-hand side. Now, to be honest, for the most part of the first half, we had a really good performance and we held the ball. We were probing. We had some chances, let's say. We had quite a few shots on goal. And for me, I believe that we should have done a lot better. But what I would say is that we just didn't have the risk taker in there, the maverick. Someone that's just going to make a pass that's really going to be fearless and, put a pass through 2 or 3 players or over the top and just risk it. There was a lot of backward play, a lot of left, a lot of right. It was really negative. And I am not going to lie, when I was looking at the side today, I thought to myself, who am I looking at to really turn this game around? Now, for the first half, Cunha was amazing. Amazing. He ran his socks off. He was creating chances in terms of getting us free kicks, pushing us higher up the pitch. But there was no end product. I want to see you have Jose Sarr making some real last-ditch saves, fingertips, and all of that. But he didn't really test him. You got the big man Šeško up front, and we want to play it to his feet. Put the ball in the box in the air. You got Dorgu that's got a wicked left foot, and Shaw that's got a wicked left foot. They can pick the ball up and cross the ball from deep. You got Dalot on the right-hand side that can cross the ball anywhere on the right-hand side. And even if Zirkzee wanted to cross, but, I don't see Zirkzee doing that. But, the likes of Casemiro and that, they could pick passes. Take a risk, man. I'm looking man to man and thinking to myself, you're playing against a side that have struggled to get 2 points We're 19 games in, 20 games in, or 19 games in, and you don't want to take risks. You need to look at yourself in the mirror. You need to say to yourself, am I really a Man United player? Am I really kind of saying to myself, I'm elite level? Like, literally. So it takes us all the way up to just before half time for us to get a goal off of Zirkzee. He scores on a half an hour mark, and, I'm jumping for joy because, to be honest, at that point, it released the pressure because they've got this kid, Mosquera, for Wolves, mate, box to box. And I mean that literally. He was running everywhere, cutting challenges out. He was creating attacks for Wolves. This guy does not want to be there in January, yeah? Or at least, or the summer. Because the last 2 games I've watched him play, amazing. But that's the kind of risk I want to see. I want to see someone like Shaw, Heaven, although Heaven did do this, but I want to see them take the ball far up the pitch and really create, some pressure on the opposition box. Be the extra man. It took for Heaven to win the ball high up the pitch, to take on 1 or 2 men, go, give the ball to Zirkzee for a given goal. He's continued running to take one of the defenders with him. Zirkzee turns on a sixpence and then slides the ball past Jose Sarr, albeit with a deflection. But it took for someone like that from the deep line defence to create an opportunity for United. It's embarrassing. Because Zamiro, Ugarte, you boys got to look at yourself and say, "Rah, man, we are meant to be, we're meant to be the leadership team, the senior guys. We need to take this game by the cuff of the neck and create something to just ease the pressure. We're at home. So represent, man. We're not away from home. It's embarrassing. You go away to Wolves and then you play like you did, which, to be honest, wasn't amazing, but you get 3 points. And then, I say away to Wolves, Newcastle. It wasn't away. But our last game was against Newcastle. And you really want to say to yourself, can we really say to ourselves that, we're going to go into Wolves and play like this? Nah, mate. You got to rise up. We got to look at that 1-0 as a close shave and say to us, we nicked 3 points here, boys. Let's go into Wolves and batter them. We did nothing of the sort. We scored the goal and we pretty much all the gas that's left us. We had 1 or 2 chances on goal. To be honest with you, our best chances really came from Jose Sarr making mistakes at the back. There was one opportunity that came in the first half where he misjudged the flight of the ball and we managed to get something on it, but it wasn't for a defender blocking. It could have been 2. It could have been two United, 1 to Wolves. I mean, the embarrassing part was just before half time, Wolves had an opportunity. The ball's a free kick. The ball's floated over the back. No one's marking what's his name? Krejci? I'm not good with names, so don't even laugh, guys. But one of the Wolves players was free and Dorgu was not marking anybody. You need to check your 6. Check your shoulders. Who am I meant to be marking in this phase of play? The guy had enough time to watch the ball come, pretty much pick his spot and just put it back the other side of Lemems, who, to be honest with you, had no chance because he didn't know the ball was coming at him until the guy hit the ball. But Wolves had chances. We could have walked away from this way worse than what we did with 1-1. But that's not something to celebrate, mind you. It is something to reflect on, though. We need to do better. We really need to do better. And I don't know where that starts from. And when I say that, what basis is that? From the creativity side? Or are we saying that, we need to buy in January someone creative so that if Bruno does struggle to, get fit, that we have a number 2? I mean, our injury bench is Delit, Fernandes, Maguire, Mainu, and Mount. And then we've got, in African Cup of Nations at the moment, we've got Diallo, Mbeumo, and Mazraoui. So we've got about 8 players now missing that are all senior players. And out of those 8 players, at least 4 of those could create something for us. Can be a reaction off the bench to get some fresh legs on the pitch, to create something, to be a bit more dynamic. But we really lacked a lot of heart and dynamism on the pitch, man. It's so difficult to watch a game like that, knowing that we are arguably the better side, but we are not playing like it. Wolves did not look like they were in any sort of threat. Again, they've only had 2 points at this point in 19 games. So why should they be fearing us? It's United. Why should we fear them? Why should we fear them? What's the worst that can happen? They could lose. Well, they've lost loads of games this season. So with that mentality, we as Man United need to come in and say, yo, guys, we need to kill this off. First half hour, we need to get 2-3, and then we can start playing pop, 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 pop. None of that today. These boys ain't getting no ratings from me today at all. What they do need to do is they all need to be sat down and be told that the performances need to improve if we want to even consider being in Europe. Because at the minute, we don't even look like we're Europe ready. We look like if we have more than one game in a week, we are screwed. Pardon my French. We are not ready for that. Our next game is Leeds away. I'm not hopeful. Then we've got Burnley away. Imagine 2 games which you should say to yourselves, United should get 6 points from those. Well, no, we shouldn't really. We shouldn't. Because the way we're playing right now, 8 players missing out of the team, why would you go into any of those 2 games confident? Leeds are in a vein of form at the minute where you'd argue that they're probably playing better football than they would have hoped for. And Burnley, all right, Burnley are not doing great. But again, they're playing against United and they've got nothing to lose and they're playing at home. So I said it earlier in the season, we need characters, yeah, that really want to put everything and leave everything out on the pitch. And that's what I want to see every week. Cunha, albeit ran his socks off, about 70 minutes, he looked dead. He looked dead on his feet. He needed to be dragged off and more quality needed to be brought on. But when you look at the Man United bench at the minute, who are you bringing him off for? Who are you bringing him off for? I mean, we made a couple of changes today. We brought on Fletcher in midfield for Ugarte. We brought on Euro for Heaven. And we brought on Mantato. And didn't really make a massive difference for Zirkzee, sorry. Didn't really make a huge difference. Fletcher was really negative with the ball. Euro had a couple of one-on-ones, battles that he won. And Mantato, to be honest, he looked a little bit rushed. It was his first inclusion into the first team coming on off the bench. But you'd expect a little bit more composure if you're going to have the opportunity to play. But again, it's his first game, so I can't put too much pressure on him. But I just, the first 11, they have to do better, man. They have to do better. We really need to look at Leeds and Burnley and say 6 points, nothing less. We're level points with Chelsea at the minute. We're 2 points ahead of Sunderland, who have got a game in hand. And we still got all to play for. We're halfway through the season, guys. Come on, man, get the character. I do feel willing to go in the window. I don't know if the board will see it the same, but I do feel like we need some creative spark. Zirkzee potentially going out to Roma or to Italy. Hopefully that frees up something or some change for us to go out and get someone a little bit more dynamic up front, because we need it. We definitely need it. Yeah, I've just got nothing more to say, man. Just disappointed. We had a disallowed goal at the end of the game, and it was because Dorgu was like a arm offside. And to be honest, that phase of play with Seshko getting an opportunity to turn and shoot, Jose Sarr saves it, parries it, and Dorgu gets the rebound. That was probably our most exciting part of the second half. Other than that, we had a couple of headers that Jose Sarr has dealt with, a couple of balls into the box where he just comes and punches it out of the sky, but nothing that really said to yourself, "Raw, we look like we're going to get a goal." Wolves, on the other hand, they had a few moments where I thought to myself, "Hey, this could go left." Lemens had to put his body on the line. He made a wicked double save to keep us at 1-1. Come on, boys, man. Character. Come on. Where's the big personalities in the changing room at halftime to say, "Yo, this ain't good enough"? But yeah, ran over. I'm disappointed. I need some real reflection in the United ranks, and I need to see better next time we step out. Like I said to you earlier in the pod, please subscribe, join our community, share it with the friends and families and the like. Make sure you comment. Make sure you click that like button. Make sure you follow us on X, YouTube, Instagram and TikTok. I always have to count because I always forget one. Well, try not to forget one anyway. But yeah, no ratings for me today, boys. I need to see a good run of form through 4 or 5 games before I start maybe put some ratings on your back. But for now, it's on you to reflect. It's your boy Monts. Peace.